What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Welcome back to What's Happening Now, your number 2 source of Juggalo Underground news. Faygo Lovers, of course, is always number 1. If you don't like me, then I'm probably not your number 2 source. Somebody else is, and that's okay. That's cool. It's all love. But been a few weeks since we've done this. There's been some news that has happened. I've let it kind of simmer. Obviously, the holidays happen. A holiday happened. Thanksgiving happened. I wouldn't count Black Friday as a holiday. Some people get that day off. I didn't. But, last night, Xmas just happened. So there's things on there. There's things that you're gonna see like on Faygo Lovers about Xmas. I'm not gonna touch on them because that event had just happened last night. As you can see, I am showing off the 2 shirts that we got. Megs and I are at this moment planning to do a Juggalo talk tonight to talk about the event. If for whatever reason we don't do it, then you're probably seeing this video instead. So yeah, but Xmas was the motherfucking shit. Absolutely loved it. Great fucking time. So let's jump into the news. Like I said, there's some shit that got announced, and I just haven't touched on the news. I've been a little busy. So first and foremost, shout out to the motherfucking members for their continued support. I've seen names come and go. I've seen names be there since the beginning. It's all love. Shout out to them for their continued support of the channel. If you would like to be a part of that, you can hit the join button or the link in the description. But shout out to the members for their continued support as always. Let's jump into the news. Like I said, a lot of stuff got announced. I got my little tab set up here at the top that you can't see, but I can see, of all the shit that we're going to talk about. I think I have these pretty much in like the order of how I want to do this. So the first one, and this was really kind of part of the Black Friday sale, they had teased like this single that you could get if you ordered off of MNE store. And it was for, I think it just said, what did it say? Monoxide, but it was in like the style of a Paul, what was the shit? A Newport, right? I don't fucking know. It was in the style of a type of cigarette that he used to smoke, which was a hint towards Chainsmoker. Since then, they have also released a single for Jamie Madrox, but there's no more news like as far as that. As far as I know, it's just the single, so I don't know like what the plan is, if they're doing 2 different solo albums this year. And I didn't really come with the full knowledge because there's been some more information about Monoxide's Chainsmoker 2 that has come out. Monoxide has talked about it on live stream, but I haven't personally gone and watched it. I haven't taken any kind of cliff notes about it. So from what I have gathered, there's a certain way that he's wanting to release it, similar to Glyph, but not like Glyph, because I guess the way that they released Glyph kind of maybe backfired. I don't know, but I guess there's supposed to be 2 different versions. There's supposed to be one that is just Paul, just Monoxide, nobody else is on it. And then there's supposed to be one that has guest appearances and features all over it, which would be the shit. There's some artists I would love to see him work with, but I doubt. And I'm just now like remembering that I think I had seen where someone said that he mentioned who would be on the featured album, which nobody that, I mean, people that I know that he would work with, but there's some people out of his circle that I'd like to see him work with that I didn't see on the list, and that's okay. It is what it is. But yeah, Monoxide announced the Chainsmoker 2 LP, and honestly, when this news dropped, I don't want to say I'm not excited about it, but I'm also not excited about it. The first album was okay. When I first listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's like, it's some Twiztid shit. But honestly, I don't listen to it that much. I'm not a huge fan of Chainsmoker. So hearing that this was announced was kind of like, okay, cool. It's new music. You know what I mean? I think Monoxide has come light years since the first Chainsmoker came out, which 20 years, baby. 20 fucking years ago. And knowing the history behind of how Chainsmoker originally came out, he owed some child support. Fucking, I guess, approached Alex about it, and so he went and recorded. I think, if I remember correctly, it took like 3 weeks to record Chainsmoker, and they put it out so he could get paid, so he could go fucking pay his child support. So that was how Chainsmoker came to be. I paraphrase like a motherfucker. If anything I said is inaccurate, obviously correct me. But yeah, that's how Chainsmoker came to be. So yeah, it's kind of I don't want to say it sucks, but it does feel very lackluster at points. And yeah, I don't even know what to really say about the first one. So the second one coming out, I'm kind of like not excited, but on the same hand, like I'm treating it like, oh hey, we're getting some new music. So that part is at the very least super exciting. But moving on to the next item that I'm super fucking excited for, because it's going to be a fun time. Yeah, baby. Super Famous Funtime guys reveal the album art and track list for I'll Tell You When I Want to Laugh by Laughing. They have some of the goofiest album titles. Some of their album titles actually have stories behind how they came up with them. And I am actually super curious to hear the story behind this one. So hopefully at Camp Zool they'll kind of give that like story at their seminar. I don't know. But that'd be cool to hear the story. I honestly, I would love to just hear the story of all the names. I know how they came up with Don't Hug Me From the Front. I know how they came up with Mom's Not Offended, She's Concerned. But I just think it's their their album titles are so silly, and I mean you could say stupid, but they're so silly that they're fun, and I just want to know the stories behind them. But just in case you missed it, over the holiday weekend, the Super Famous Funtime guys dropped the track list to their upcoming album, I'll Tell You When I Want to Laugh by Laughing. It'll be 16 tracks long, including the intro and an oddly placed outro, and contains features from Clockwork, McNasty, Zool, SON, Stray, and Novels, which they've already released the single for the song featuring Stray and Novels. It is the quirky pop punk song, subtitled Existential Dread. That song is the shit. It's become like an earworm. It's in my head constantly. They actually just Thursday dropped the single and the video for Charity Case, which is another fucking great banger. Like this album was supposed to drop in the fall of 2023. Technically, it's still fall right now. I don't think the first day of winter is until like the 20th, somewhere in that area. So there's literally still like a week that they could drop it and still have it come out technically in the fall. But as of now, they've kind of switched it. It says coming soon. At Xmas last night, they joked about it'll come out eventually. So I'm really fucking excited for this one. I can't wait for it to drop. I'm a big fucking fan of what they do. I think they put out great shit. And I'm super excited for it. Yeah, it just can't come soon enough. But yeah, there you can see a typed up track list as well as the actual, I'm guessing, the artwork for the back of the CD. So this is going to be fucking dope. And this one right here, My Friends Can Beat Up Your Friends, featuring Zool and SON. So it's basically a long live evil track, which I know they are gearing up for, I think, a really big year in 2024. Obviously, they just dropped Lost Lake Estates. And I've made comparisons to it being equivalent to when Tales from Lotus Pod came out. And I've had some people say that I've got to stop making the Dark Lotus comparisons. It's the only way I know how to describe it, though, because that's how I feel about what's coming. I feel like they're gearing up to fucking just take off and do some shit as a label, the same way the Psychopathic Records did, 25 years ago when they were, they signed Twiztid, they signed Blaze, they put out Dumpin', and then eventually put out Tales from Lotus Pod, and the family era kicked off. And that's what I feel Zool is getting ready to do, or that's what I feel like Long Live Evil is getting ready to do. I'm excited for it. And that's the only way I know how to describe it and compare it. But I think it's turning some people off because it's like, when you compare something, then it's like, no, this can't be as dope as this. So I immediately think it's whack. Or you know what I mean. I think when you compare something, you hold it to the same standard, and if it's not on that same standard, you're like, no, this is not this. It could never touch this, and that's not what I'm trying to say. When I say Lost Lake Estates is comparable to Tales from Lotus Pod, and when I say that I got vibes from it, I just meant the vibe of the album, the project. Like they worked together as a brotherhood, the same way that they did with Tales from Lotus Pod. And I'm rambling on about this shit. Let's move on. But yeah, Super Famous Funtime guys. I'll Tell You When I Want to Laugh by Laughing. Coming soon. Not soon enough. It needs to drop already. Or, just fucking leak the files to me so I can at least listen to it. Moving on to the Carnivores Class and Zitra release Carnivores EP. Now there is some other music that dropped. I wanted to shine some light and show some love to this one. Class and Zitro, they actually performed at Unity Fest, and when they performed, and they were talking about them being the Carnivores and them being a new group, and I was like, how did they fly under my radar? Granted, I don't really follow LSP super religiously. I don't follow them nearly as hardcore as I do like low key psychopathic MNE. Mob style music, Kung Fu Vampire, like they're not like the artists that are on LSP are not on my radar like that. But Class, having worked with Buckshot and Boondocks as Underground Avengers, I feel like he's enough on my radar that I couldn't have missed this. And then they had said that they were releasing an EP. It finally came out, and I have listened to it a couple of times. It's definitely dope. It's definitely something different. I remember when Zitro was first kind of, I don't want to say announced, but when ICP had put in the Yum Yum Bedlam book that he was going to be the newest artist for Psychopathic Records, I did go kind of check him out, and at that particular time, I was kind of like, yeah, he's not terrible, but then never really listened to anything more. And I want to say this as respectfully as I can to Class on this, but the two of them definitely fucking killed it with this little EP that they put out. An interesting name that they called it Carnivores. It kind of leans towards like the horrorcore side, but I don't feel like this album was quote unquote horrorcore. This felt kind of more on the realm of like just rap in general, not so much like a subgenre of horrorcore. But looking at the album cover, looking at the name of what they're calling themselves, it kind of, I went into it with different expectations and left with like, okay. And having seen them at Unity Fest did help, like, already have impressions of the shit kind of in my head. And yeah, I think it's a dope little EP. And if you like you some Class, you'll definitely like this. If you like you some Zitro, you'll definitely like this. And if you're just in the market for something new, give it a shot. What do you got to lose, right? This is probably, I think it's like, how long is this? Does it even say on here? It doesn't. I think it's like, I want to say it was like a 30-minute EP. That's just a total random guess. I guess you have 30 minutes of your life to lose listening to this. So if you're not sure what to listen to, go give it a listen and then come back and tell me what you think. Moving right along, we have some guests starting to get announced for MNE's Astronomicon 7. And I've kind of talked a little bit about being interested in going to this. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not saying I'm not going to go, but I've already started to slowly abandon the thoughts of going. I'm just not into pop cons. And like, if you've ever interacted with me at a concert, you know how like very reserved and quiet and introverted I can be. And I just feel like going to this event is not going to be something that, I don't want to say I'll be miserable, but I don't also want to say like, oh, it's going to be an amazing time. I don't see myself going to this and be like, oh, this was the greatest event I've ever been to. I just don't foresee that for myself because of the personality that I have. Like, going to a pop convention is just not something I really strive to do. So it's honestly still very much in the air for me if I'm going to go to this. But for those of you that are interested, they have started to announce some of the guests that are going to be there. Like Kurt Angle's going to be there. Roger Bumpass, Squidward? Really? Squidward's going to be there. Wow. Okay. And also on another part of the Fagel Lovers page here at the top, you can see Mick Foley is going to be there, which people always say that Mick Foley is like a super nice guy, but I'm not a wrestling fan, so like, yeah, cool, be cool to go see and meet him, but on the same hand, it's like if I went to Astronomicon, I would be going to meet the MNE roster essentially, and any of the other artists that they might book. Which, if they had Zool there, if they had Funtime guys there, if they had if Kung Fu Vampire was there, which I've met and talked to Kung Fu Vampire a few times. If they had different artists like that, then maybe. But also, I'm kind of more of the mindset of like, I like running into people at shows versus paying to go meet them. Which is why I've only done like one VIP, and that was it. The vibe just felt weird. Like, you're paying somebody to meet them. I don't know. It just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know really what to say about it. But they have started to announce guests for Astronomicon 7. If that's something that interests you, as of right now, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go. My sights are definitely set on Camp Sewell. I will tell you that. The next piece of news: Ouija Macc announces Corruptus album. I don't really know much information about it. Ouija Macc's not really my cup of tea. I believe this is supposed to be the next album in the series. He dropped? Detritus, Atrophy, Retro. I don't even fucking know it. I don't want to seem disrespectful. I don't really follow Ouija Macc like that, but I think it all builds up to spelling out Dark Planet. And then my assumption is either there's going to be an album after that called Dark Planet that comes out, or that's just, the albums that come out that make up Dark Planet. I don't fully know what the direction is, but Ouija Macc is slated to drop the next album in the series, Corruptus. It is... I thought there was a date on here. Released soon. Yeah, I thought there was a date. I could have swore I saw it was January. I feel like I'd seen January. Maybe that's for Juggalo Ohio 2. So let's just go ahead and close out of this and open it up right to the next one. Ouija Macc reveals Juggalo Ohio 2 lineup featuring Isham, King 810, and more. So the performances, you can see like the little flyer here. It's going to be split into 2 nights, which I can't remember. Was the first one like that? Was it 2 nights or was it 1 night? I honestly do not remember. But the first night will feature performances from Ouija Macc, Isham, Gizmo, Ricky Hill, Shaggy the Airhead, Death Plus, Percy Bones, Motown Rage, Acetone Boogie, and Shade Hecka, which out of that lineup, I would be interested to see Isham, I would be interested to see Shaggy the Airhead, and I would be interested in seeing Motown Rage, and I would probably check out Acetone and Shade's albums, because I know who Acetone is, which shout out to him. I know a big dream or big goal of his was getting booked for Hallowicked. Obviously, he didn't get booked for Hallowicked, so seeing him get booked for this is really fucking cool. I think it's awesome seeing him achieve that goal and that dream, so shout out to him on that. And then Shade Hecka, I've actually done some reviews for, and I think I did maybe 1 reaction. The homie Cali Green Too Fresh a few years ago was actually like his manager and was helping him put shit out. I don't know if it's still the case. I don't know what their relationship is as of right now. I haven't really asked Cali Green, but yeah, Shade. Again, it wasn't really my cup of tea, the stuff that he was putting out, but I know that's a lot of people's cup of tea right now. But I think just the simple fact that I did check out his albums and did drop reviews for them, I would go to his set. And then jumping into night 2, it will feature performances from Ouija Macc, King 810, Chapo, is that? I want to say Chapo, Darby O'Trill, Riverkin, Lardy B, Apollo Exodus, Wicked Ways, Triton Music, and Omize? Omizi? I'm butchering that. I'm just going to stop. So the lineup for Juggalo Ohio has been announced. Juggalo Ohio 2, correct me there. It has been announced. That is going down January 19th. That's where I got the date from. That was the date I had in my head. I feel like Corruptus will probably drop either before Juggalo Ohio 2 or at Juggalo Ohio 2. Because I think he's done that in the past. I feel like, didn't Detritus drop at Juggalo Ohio? I can't remember. Ouija Macc fans, sound off in the comments. Correct me, because I know I'm doing an awful disservice to Ouija Macc right now. And dropping balls left and right. Sticking somewhat onto the topic of Ouija Macc. 3-Headed Monsters Obliteration now available on vinyl. Didn't see this coming at all. Honestly, I take that back. I kind of saw it coming. I think they're really going to ride this wave for a little bit. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I think I'm ready for them to kind of turn the page and focus back on ICP just a little bit, Obliteration was great. Rampage was okay. Them doing the 2 tours, the 3-Headed Monsters Ball, cool. They put out this vinyl. I have to assume that they're not done doing this. I feel like there's something else that's going to go down. Honestly, Juggalo Day, I think they're going to do either a three-headed monster show, or they're like one of the nights is going to be for three-headed monster or something. I'm already foreseeing it right now. Three-headed monster is going to be at Juggalo weekend, because I just think they're going to continue to ride this wave, and it's not a bad thing. Like if fans are liking it and fans are digging it, and I know Acetone Boogie had said he thinks Three-Headed Monster is the best supergroup since Dark Lotus. I humbly disagree. I think Killjoy Club is, but there's a lot of people pining for more of it. So if they're going to keep riding the wave, they're going to keep riding the wave. But they dropped a vinyl. It's going to set you back some bones. Weirdly enough, and I when I had seen the price, I was like $40 for a vinyl. I was like, pass. But the homie Jules One was like, well, you got to think the CD was 30. They had to make it more. They had to make it more than the fucking CD, and he's right. The CD is overpriced, so therefore the vinyl is a little bit more than I would probably pay. Typically, though, when you get into the vinyl game, you're looking at 25 to 35, $40 for a vinyl. So I think the vinyl being priced at $40 is in the right range. But the homie Juggalo Collectibles ordered this, and he actually said it was 60 some dollars after shipping. Holy fuck. Pass. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but pass. Big time pass. I don't know why everything is being so price gouged from Psychopathic. Everything is being price gouged. Concert tickets, fucking CDs that they're selling. I mean, they sold Three-Headed Monster costs more than the last Joker's card. There's something wrong with that. And you can get into the logistics of like, oh, well, they had to pay everyone evenly. They had to pay Isham, they had to pay Ouija Macc. It was Real Life Productions, it was Chapter 17 and Psychopathic Records. But they've done group projects like that before. Killjoy Club being the prime example. And that fucking album, if I remember correctly, when it came out, was $14. Like $14.99 plus shipping. It wasn't that much. And that was two different groups from two different labels that did a group together. And I know you can argue like inflation and the economy and all that, but I'm seeing other people in the underground putting out albums that aren't costing a fucking arm and a leg. Price gouging is just not something I'm cool with. And I know Violent J got himself into a tiny bit of hot water with some fans when he had commented on Necro's post saying buy or buy. Like, obviously I'm not going to just quit being a juggalo because of that, but it's also like I don't have to buy every single thing that gets put out either. So if that's your mentality, if you don't want me to be your fan, I'm sorry, I'm sticking around, but I'm not going to buy everything you put out. Give me something that I feel is going to be worth my money. And a CD with no book for $30 isn't it. It just isn't. So, but yeah, Three-Headed Monster Obliteration is now available on vinyl if you are into the vinyl game. This is definitely something I'm going to pass on, but Juggalo Collectibles, I hope you picked up too, because I would be curious to see what the disc looks like. Hopefully they did something amazing with it. Like, I feel like they've already done such an amazing job with all of the vinyl that they put out for Waxworks for ICP that I'm curious where they'll go with this. Will they make it look like one of the big reel-to-reel, you know what I mean, like the little reels like they did for the actual CD, but on a vinyl? That would be kind of sweet. That way you'd see it like spinning on the turntable. That would honestly be kind of cool. But yeah, Obliteration available on vinyl right now over on it's not, did I say the Vault? It's on psychopathicmerch.com right now. It's not on the Vault. Is it on the Vault? Fuck, I get it. See, this is why they don't need two websites. They need to just like whatever contract they have with merch now, I hope it's almost over and they can just get out of it, because I feel like they just need to do it on their own with Vault. Essentially, Psychopathic Vault is Hatchigear at this point. But let's go ahead, close out of this, and move on to the last piece of item. I ordered this in a heartbeat. Twiztid's Christmas collection. Now, they have got to be the only artist I can think of, like in the underground, like in rap, whatever. Like there's plenty of musicians that put out oodles of fucking Christmas albums, but Twiztid have to be the only people I know who have done multiple in the rap game. They put out the Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition back in 2009. A year later, and this technically isn't on them. This is on Psychopathic. Psychopathic Records then put out Holiday Heat that had like a lot of the tracks that were on the Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition on there. And then the year after, in 2011, Twiztid dropped a Cutthroat Christmas. Now, since then, they've released singles and things like that. And that is what made me go ahead and get this. Because looking at the track list, there are songs on here that don't exist on Cutthroat Christmas, that don't exist on Holiday Heat, and that don't exist on the Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition. I don't own that CD physically, the Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition, but shout out to Faygo lovers, man. They've been doing it for years. The only way you could get that CD, I believe it was the first 100 people at Big Ballas in 2009 got Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition. And so because of the limited pressing of it, Faygo lovers, being the fucking homies that they are, put it up on the website for you to download and listen to. And that's what I did, and that I've held on to that ever since. And I should have a custom video where I took and burnt a disc of the songs on that aren't on Cutthroat Christmas and put them in a 2-disc set together. That way everything's kind of together. Because there's 5 songs on Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition that never got released anywhere else. Like, there's 5 of them. Technically only 2. Murder City Christmas is one of them, and the other one is Christmas in the Hood, featuring Wolfpack and ROC and ABK, and I believe Blaze is in it. Those 2 songs are the only technical full songs, and then there's like a skit, and then there's 3 skits essentially that were on that haven't been released on anything else. So jumping into this now, I think there's 2 things here I see that have now officially been on everything they've released. And that is Sad Christmas Song, which was on the Holiday Edition. It was on Holiday Heat, and I'm pretty sure it was on Cutthroat Christmas. And my favorite Tings, which I'm pretty sure was on Holiday Heat as well as the Cryptic Collection Holiday Edition. So a lot of the stuff on here is new, but there are still 2 songs on here that have been released on other ones. And don't get me wrong, Sad Christmas Song, or Sad Christmas, which they changed it. It used to be called Sad Christmas Song. Now they're just calling it Sad Christmas. Interesting. I just now noticed that. It's a great fucking song, and I super related to it when it came out in 2009 because I was damn near homeless when that fucking album dropped. When Faygo put that up and I listened to it and that song hit, it hit way too close to home because I was damn near fucking homeless, feeling like there was no reason to celebrate the holidays. So, but yeah, Twiztid's Christmas Collection LP now available for pre-order. I got that motherfucker, ordered it with the quickness because there were songs on here that I wanted, like My Ornaments, and this is a remix, so I don't even think I don't think I've heard the remix. I'm not sure which version I've heard, and it's been a few years, but I remember they had put the single out that had it, and I wanted it so badly but never did get it. And then, then the split and the beef happened, and I shoved my head up my ass in my feels about them. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that's everything that's happening as of right now. So yeah, we'll switch it back over, and we'll leave it off on that. So tell me down below what you guys are excited for. Are you heading to Juggalo Ohio 2? I always want to split those up. Are you heading to Juggalo Ohio 2? If you are, who are you the most excited to see? Tell me down below what you guys are excited for that we talked about here today. And if there's some shit that I missed, drop it down in the comments as well. And I'll tell you what I think about that. But I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.